Signs pointed to suicide after an Austin police officer went missing on Tuesday. But in a surprising twist, investigators now believe Officer Cole Martin is alive and somewhere in Mexico after faking his own death. As Kasey and Lauren Landman reports, the Austin Police Association is now apologizing to a half-dozen agencies for wasting resources on a false alarm.
From sadness to anger, that's how some at the Austin Police Department are feeling after learning that Officer Cole Martin faked his death.
His friends on the department and all the officers are very disappointed and very upset with his actions.
Austin Police Association President Ken Kasey said he found out late Friday.
It's a sad day that it turns out that it was just a hoax.
An elaborate hoax at that. Investigators say Martin left a suicide note, bought concrete blocks and rope, and drove towards the border. When police were searching, they found an inflatable raft, which he carved his and his wife's initials on, along with the date of his supposed death. Later, police say he was talking with another woman and sent her an email about faking his death from Mexico.
When someone does this, you're taking an agency's ability to help other people out.
A long list of law enforcement agencies works to find Martin. With the amount of manpower and equipment used, Kasey says it could have cost tens of thousands of dollars.
I'd like to apologize to all those groups that had to spend time and endanger their lives to search for this person that caused a false alarm and caused an emergency response. The association believes that at a later date, Cole will have to answer for what he's done.
Lauren Landman, KXAN News.
Martin faces a misdemeanor charge of filing a false report. Once he returns, his actions could land him in jail for up to 6 months. But because it's not a felony charge, Kasey says Martin likely will not be arrested until he returns home. Tonight,
Texas cop wanted after staging suicide, crossing border into Mexico. A Texas cop who went missing on April 25 now has a warrant for his arrest after texting a suicide note to his wife, faking his own death, then fleeing to Mexico in an inflatable raft. But it was determined he was not dead after he was recorded on a surveillance camera having a meal at Wendy's. Interim Austin Police Chief Brian Manning says Officer Coleman Miller Martin's actions are an elaborate ruse. Austin Cop Coleman Cole Martin. The Austin Police Department issued an arrest warrant Friday for Martin, 29, and filed criminal charges for filing a false report against the officer, who intentionally sank his car in his efforts to stage his own death. His vehicle was found Wednesday in Lake Amistad, which is located near the Mexican border. Detectives learned Martin has a close relationship with a female who is not his wife. She told police his entire disappearance was an attempt to fake his own death and that he's actually alive. The woman showed police an email Martin sent her stating his plan to stage his own death had been successful. Police issued a statewide BOLO or be on the lookout after they were notified Martin was missing on Tuesday when his wife called 911. Martin's wife reported to dispatchers her husband was suicidal and left the house around 10 a.m. Police say she and Martin exchanged texts throughout the day, and at around 10:15 p.m. Martin texted a handwritten note saying he intended on committing suicide by drowning himself in a lake near the Mexican border. Martin also left a card behind with a note saying he needed some time to himself. Investigators in the case found Martin withdrew $300 in cash earlier in the day and purchased a raft at a sporting goods store in Austin and was later seen on surveillance video eating food at Wendy's. Officer Martin's debit card records show he bought a rope and concrete blocks at Home Depot. Texas DPS's records reveal Martin had been stopped earlier in the evening by a trooper near Uvalde, Texas around 6 p.m. According to documents, Martin stated he was on his way to Mexico for vacation. At around 7 a.m. the next day, Lake Amistad National Recreation Area law enforcement reported to APD Martin's vehicle had been found in the lake with a suicide note inside, along with his keys and wallet, which contained no U.S. currency. Martin's passport was not found in the vehicle. police launched a massive search operation utilizing air assets, dive teams, boats, and various efforts on the ground by local, state and federal authorities. Detectives found an inflatable raft on the shore a few miles from where Martin's vehicle was found in the water. The raft had Martin's name inscribed on it along with his date of birth and date of death as well as his wife's initials written on the other side, according to KXAN. Police discovered concrete blocks and scrape marks on the raft, indicating Martin pushed the blocks over the edge in an effort to stage his death. A cross drawn in the mud with a stick was found at the entry point where the raft was discovered. Homicide investigators accessed Martin's email account and found the suicide note sent to his wife around 10:30 p.m. Tuesday. The IP address that accessed the email account was located in Mexico. Detectives resumed their search Thursday and learned Martin bought an HP tablet at Best Buy at 2:19 p.m. on Tuesday, which was not found in his vehicle in the lake. In the email sent to Martin's female friend, Martin described how he intentionally staged the scene with his vehicle in Lake Amistad, then rode a bike for several miles to a convenience store where he threw his bike in the dumpster, then took a taxi to the border crossing at around 10:56 p.m. Bond for Officer Martin's false report charge is set at $3,500. Anyone with information about Martin's whereabouts is asked to call Austin Police at 512-974-5250.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.